Hey, so this is a video series where I document what it's like to get a platinum trophy. I do this by talking about my experience getting it while I'm getting it, live and unscripted. Mostly because I'm not very disciplined. I suck at writing scripts and sticking to an editing timeline. And I'm reading from a script right now, and it sounds terrible. But anyway, uh, but I personally am interested in what it's like for people when they get a platinum trophy. Uh, because 100% in a game is sometimes not easy. It's difficult, it's tedious, it's grindy, it's unforgiving. I mean, I've got almost 100 of them, so I got a million stories about not very fun platinum trophies. 100% in a game can change what a game is. It can take a good game to a not very good game, or it can take a not very good game to an actually great game if you kind of meet the game on its own terms. So if what I said at all is interesting, stay tuned.
Oh man, I fucked up. I didn't write any notes for myself. What am I even gonna say about this game? Hey, if you like to play a good game, play this game. If you like good games, play this game. If you like bad games, don't play this game. You wouldn't be satisfied. If you like to have fun when you play a game, play this game. If you like a good story, play this game. If you like to see what $100 million looks like, play this game. If you want to play a game where it looks like they gave a shit about what they were doing, play this game. If you like good games, play this game. If you like third-person shooters, don't play this game. Only like 0.5% of it is a third-person shooter, inexplicably in the final area of the game. It had to be some higher up in Insomniac. It's like, I want a third-person shooter MJ section. Just put it in there. Really, I feel like there should have been a Miles section where he fought like a horde of symbiotes. There should have been the MJ section. Oh man, that face. That's a face. Anyway, and then, of course, the Peter Parker section. Oh my god, look at that face. Jesus Christ. He's wearing green. Everything's green. I wonder why it's green. Even the credits are green. Everything's green. Why? They're not gonna make Harry the Green Goblin again, are they? Because like he was already the villain in the last game. Is it a better game than Spider-Man 2018? Yes. Yes, it is. I've played Spider-Man 2018 a lot. I probably played Spider-Man 2018 more than 100 hours, and I played Miles Morales for about 20 or 30 hours. So I have like 150, 60 hours of experience playing Spider-Man 1 going into Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is a better game than Spider-Man 1. The story, the story's in the eye of the beholder. In terms of like emotional connection and making you really feel for the characters and wanting everyone to have a happy ending, Spider-Man 1 is a bit better, I think. But in terms of like doing something different, doing something unique, and raising the stakes and mounting the pressure high and making you kind of be like, oh, are they ever gonna make it? I think Spider-Man 2 is a bit better on that front. And also, just on a first playthrough, I think Spider-Man 2 is better for the story because there's a lot more twists and turns than there is in Spider-Man 1. But I don't think that Harry Osborn is effective as the emotional core of the story. And for better or worse, the story has to basically divide itself between the Peter sections and the Miles sections. And sometimes it feels like the Miles sections are a bit anemic compared to the Peter sections. The main story is all about Peter. He's the main character. Miles is not really the main character. Peter Parker starts out one place and ends up someplace else, whereas Miles is kind of like the straight line all the way through. Miles starts this game ready to be Spider-Man. He had his growth and development in Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales. I think the reason Miles Morales exists, one, it's a stopgap game, but two, it's too much to ask from the story to have two Spider-Men going through two separate arcs at the same time and not making it like a 50, 60 hour game. Miles starts this game ready to be Spider-Man, like the only Spider-Man. Oh yeah, spoilers. Peter Parker retires at the end of this game. Yeah. I mean, goddamn well he's going to come back in the third game. You know, it's gonna be like the spectacular Spider-Man Returns or whatever. You know, got a lot of people worked on this game. I remember the Spider-Man 2018 credits being like 30 minutes long, so these are probably also going to be 30 minutes long. And once they're done, we got to do one last science fair project, then we got to go find May Parker's grave. But this is Platinum Pursuit, so we always watch the credits, no matter what, because video games take an enormous amount of effort to make. They're a hugely collaborative process. It's a miracle that games ever get made at all, and so the very least we can do is give them their due time and watch the credits. I'm not as hyped. Well, okay, maybe there's another post-credit scene, but I'm not as hyped right now as I was the end of the original Spider-Man, because the original Spider-Man, when the credits were over, you found out that Harry Osborn was in that tank with like the Venom symbiote, and I feel like this game definitely delivered on that little kind of that little teaser at the end of Spider-Man 2018. It definitely delivered. It's a really good game. And the boss fights, oh my god. The boss fights, they're really good. I mean, they're probably up there with fucking Kingdom Hearts 2 data fights, which I don't say lightly, because those are some of the best designed boss fights in all of, like, gaming. They're so fucking good. Every single one. And there's 13 of them. Kingdom Hearts 2 is a game that came out in 2005, and I don't think its boss fights have been matched since 2005. Not all the boss fights, because there's like, I want to say there's like 50 bosses in Kingdom Hearts 2, some crazy number like that. But the organization data fights, the ones at like max level, the ones that are like genuinely challenging, these are kind of close. I think that I would love to play this game on the ultimate difficulty. I hear that when you beat this game, it unlocks ultimate difficulty. But there's no New Game Plus, so you'd have to play Ultimate Difficulty from a new game. If there wasn't so much grinding involved with having to get like all of the tokens and stuff and the tech parts and the hero medallions and all that crap to like max out your character, I would seriously consider playing through this again on Ultimate Difficulty, because I can imagine the bosses being a legit challenge in Ultimate Difficulty. The bosses, you can't just run up to them and punch them. They're just gonna fucking swat you away, and you're gonna take damage, and you're gonna take a lot of damage, probably on ultimate. You have to do something to open the bosses up to an attack, much like Kingdom Hearts. So bosses might have like a 3-hit combo that you can dodge or block, or they might have a 3-hit combo, and the last hit you can only dodge or block, and it's all about your pattern recognition and how quickly you can react to things like that. But if you block all 3 or you dodge all 3, you get a free shot and a free combo. And once you finish your combo, you can use a gadget, you can use an ability, and kind of like keep that combo going. Dangerous enemies in Spider-Man 2018, the base game, were the whip guys. But the whip guys can be taken out with 2 gadgets. Suspension Matrix, Web Trip. They're done. They're instantly gone. The jetpack dudes, the Sable agents, all you gotta do is web them up a bit and slam into the ground, and that's it. That's all you have to do. Those are like the 2 toughest enemies in the game, and just using webbing and gadgets, they're completely trivialized. If you're trying to like fight enemies and beat them up with your fists, you're doing it wrong in Spider-Man 2018. It's unfortunate because like once you're end game in Spider-Man 2018 and you're playing the game on the hardest difficulty, it just takes so long to punch anyone to death and like knock them out. You're gonna rely heavily on gadgets, especially DLC. DLC throws significantly more guys at you than the main game does, but gadgets are your friend. I want to say in the main game in 2018, they never ever throw more than 1 whip guy at you at the same time. In the DLC, they'll throw like 3 whip guys at you. And if you don't use Suspension Matrix and Web Trip, you're going to get overwhelmed like so fast. And they're just going to fucking destroy you, especially in Ultimate Difficulty where like 2 or 3 hits and you're dead. This game is a bit more balanced, I think. So the game will throw a lot of enemies at you, but it gives you a lot of AoE abilities. But you can't spam them like you did with gadgets in Spider-Man 2018. Like you don't gain gadgets back as fast as you did in 2018, and you don't build focus as fast as you did in 2018 either. So you're not left with a lot of options to instantly take down enemies. You're gonna have to deal with them one way or the other, and you can web enemies up and slam them down, or web enemies up and throw them against a wall. But like while you're doing that, everyone else is coming for your neck, right? And if you get up in the air, you can slam them down, yeah. But your web shooters recover a lot slower than in 2018. So web shooters are good for taking out like 1 or 2 enemies, but you're gonna have to you can't just spam abilities over and over again. They have cooldowns. I think it's a great system because the abilities are on cooldown. You can't just spam the same ability over and over and over again. In Spider-Man 2018, you could spam gadgets, because when you spam gadgets, you take out enemies, and then you get your focus back. You instantly take out enemies with focus, you get your gadgets back, and it creates this feedback loop. You can't do that in this game because when you take enemies out with a gadget, it doesn't fill your focus bar that much, basically at all. So you can't just do a gadget feedback loop. You can't do that in this game, and so you have to fight. You have to get good at the combat. Luckily, they give you a ton more moves that are pretty useful for keeping you in the air. Ideally, you want to stay in the air as much as possible. You can also dodge under enemies in the air now. So if an enemy is aiming at you and you're fighting another enemy, you can dodge under that enemy, avoid the attack, and keep hitting that enemy in the air, or slam them down and pull up another enemy if you want. And you can jump off enemies and stay in the air that way if you kind of start going back down to the ground. It's a really effective system. Now, yours truly didn't stay in the air that much because I feel like you can do more damage on the ground. I mean, a lot of your abilities bring you down to the ground, but they also give you AoE to compensate for it. I really like the combat system. I really, really like it. I'm very curious to see what they do with the DLC, because the combat in the DLC of Spider-Man 1 compared to the main game was significantly harder. Those fucking machine gun brutes, I never found a weakness for them. I never figured out an easy way to deal with them. They're just really fucking tough, and I would just build up focus so I could instantly take them out by attacking other enemies. But those fucking machine guns, man, they're brutal. They got the machine gun brutes from the City Never Sleeps DLC, and it's by far the best combat I've ever experienced in a Spider-Man game. Well, I don't know, man. Miles, when he's fully leveled up, I have a lot of fun with him. You saw me struggling with Peter against Venom, and then as soon as it switches to Miles, I'm I'm cleaning his clock. I'm messing him up. I'm just he can't even touch me. I'm pretty sure I passed 2 of the Venom phases without getting hit as Miles, and it only took 1 or 2 tries. Whereas with Peter, it took 10 tries to even get past his sections. It was better. And they were like, oh, it has better graphics. And I'm like, motherfucker, it comes out on another generation of hardware. That's not really an achievement. You could, they made Spider-Man Remastered. You take the game, run it on better hardware, yeah, it's gonna look better. Fuck, man, that's not an achievement, really, The combat, that's an achievement. Traversal, that's an achievement. I don't know. The traversal feels better, but all they did is just make your web swing faster, and just make you faster in general. They added the web wings, which is cool. I'll admit the web wings is interesting. It's not overpowered, and ever since Breath of the Wild, every open world game has to have some kind of hang glider mechanic. I mean, come on, this is the current year. It's after Zelda Breath of the Wild. Every open world game needs the glider mechanic, even when it doesn't really make sense to have the glider mechanic. I mean, the web wing mechanic, it feels like it came in very late in development, and I think it mostly exists because it was kind of a pain in the ass in Spider-Man 2018 to go across Central Park. It's oh god, I gotta go across Central Park. Shit, I gotta swing from the trees because there's no buildings nearby. I feel like web wings was created solely to fix that problem of going across Central Park. And because they opened the world up a bit, and you also went to Astoria, Williamsburg, and Brooklyn, and Queens, they wanted a way to be able to cross the river because there's a river there, and they wanted a way to be able to cross it that was kind of believable. But aside from that, the web wings. Is this my game of the year? Yeah, I guess. I mean, I haven't really played many games that came out this year. Like, I'll get them, and I probably won't beat them. Probably playing for like 1 or 2 days, like Final Fantasy 16. But like, I don't know. Like, calling something the game of the year, to me, it's like, you know, it implies that I'm only gonna play games that come out like this year in 2023, and that's just not true. Like, the next game after this is Metal Gear. Metal Gear came out in like the 80s. Is Metal Gear my game of the year? Like, is it the best game I played so far this year? No, it's not. I think the best game I played so far this year, that goes to probably Hellblade. Because Hellblade stuck with me for like a month afterwards. Like, I'd be thinking about it all the time. It's a unique and interesting experience, that game. Now, Hellblade was a significantly less labor. Like, what am I trying to say? It took a lot less effort to make Hellblade than it did to make this game. This game took a monumental amount of effort, I think, maybe. I mean, they had half the map already built from Spider-Man 2018. They just added, you know, Queens, Williamsburg, Astoria, and Brooklyn. But, you know, the writing, the voice acting, the new mechanics, the new combat. In terms of games that have come out this year that I've played, yeah, it's my game of the year. But I haven't played every game that came out this year, you know? I don't have that kind of fucking money. Do you? Oh, you have to look for it a little bit. Oh.
Parker Luck's back with a vengeance.
You know what to do. Dedicated. Like a 12,000 person to get the platinum trophy. That's it, guys. I think I said all I needed to say when the credits were rolling by. I will do my best to salvage some kind of platinum pop for you guys when I wake up. Future Editing Cashmere here, and I hope you liked it. If it was a bit hard to understand where I was coming from with Spider-Man 2, just know this. It's a good game, and you should check it out. And go for the Platinum Trophy. If you beat the game, you're probably not too far away from getting the Platinum, so just go for it. And if you like what you saw, I've got about 30 other videos on this channel, me going after Platinum Trophies, and I'm going to keep doing it in the future. So, if you like what you see, you know what to do. Peace out.